Dire team pick.
Alright everybody, welcome back to H-Cup. This is game 2 of the Wings Gaming versus Ehome. I'm Basskip here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and let's get ourselves into this next game. It was a little bit of an underwhelming performance from Wings in the previous game, but I do think a lot of it just came down to draft, so we'll see if they can put something a little bit better together here for our second game. It is worth, of course, reminding you guys that this group has pretty much already been resolved. Ehome are going to be the one team advancing out of Group D into the playoffs, which we'll be covering over the course of the next 3 days, I believe, so make sure you tune in for that. This game, just a little bit of pride on the line, but Wings still going to have to see if they can potentially break Ehome's unbeaten record so far in this group. I think they've dropped a game, but they are yet to drop a series. Currently 4-0 with a 4-0 series score with an 8-1 overall game score. So someone did manage to take one game off of them somewhere along the way, but still managed to bounce right back. In terms of our draft so far, Ehome are going to get their hands on the Earth Spirit and the OD, as Wings do manage to get the Bounty Hunter and the Invoker. I believe the Bounty Hunter was banned out by Ehome in the previous game. Actually, wait, was it? I think it may have actually been banned by Wings, because I get the feeling that Ehome just banned this Wisp Venomancer 1-2 punch in the previous game as well. So yeah, it looks like things are going to get messed around here a little bit, but Ehome's still sticking to their guns in terms of the bans. If they want the Chen, it did still make its way through into the pool, and Ehome are going to end up banning out an Ancient Apparition here, so that does seem to suggest that they're going to be going for at least some kind of healing strategy, whether or not it's going to be a Morphling, because he doesn't want to get Ice Blasted when he wants to activate more strength, or if they're just going to pick a Witch Doctor or a Dazzle, potentially even Juggernaut, though I don't know if AA is all that much of a concern for Jug, but that does seem to suggest that they might be going for something along those lines. Meanwhile, Oracle is the ban for Wings. That's what they're reading into this AA ban, as Pugna is once again going to be removed. Ehome just completely sticking to their guns in terms of the bans here. And this time around, Wings are going to end up going for the Doom. I was talking about it as a possibility for their offlane pick in the previous game. They ended up grabbing the Axe and then swapping their lane so that they could have the Axe on the safe lane and pick up some farm that way, but I think the Doom is pretty solid. Definitely quite good if they can get the Doom off under the OD consistently, but it can be a little bit difficult, especially from the offlane roll. It takes a while to farm up a blink on a Doom, and that's really what you need if you're going to reliably get the OD, especially since a lot of ODs at the moment are buying blink themselves, and that means that they choose when exactly they join the fight, and they're able to move around pretty freely. So they're never really on the front lines, so to speak. But Ehome, what is the plan here? They've already got a ton of ways to put pressure on the mid lane between the Earth Spirit and the OD. Just gonna grab themselves some team fight with the Gyrocopter. This could potentially mean that we see the Blade Mail build out of the Doom. I think it's good against both the OD and the Gyro, so could be an option there. The pub strat, of course, is to go for the Omni here if you're Ehome. Could be a possibility. They do have a relatively strong laner in the Gyrocopter. Double melee supports could potentially be something that they can get away with.
5 seconds
so
remaining.
It might be something that Wings have to keep an eye out for here. Just any sustaining support I think would be really good this game. They could even, if they want a really big screw you to the Bounty Hunter, they could put an Abaddon in the offlane. I think Abaddon actually synergizes very nicely with OD. It's the same as kind of the old Razor. If you guys can think back to a distant time when Razor may have actually been a good hero, but Razor's always sort of benefited a lot from just having a little bit of extra survivability that he sometimes can't necessarily itemize for. And a hero like Abaddon really provides that and sort of keeps you sticking around in the fight and just being a huge nuisance. And I think the same is very much true for OD. So I think something like an Abaddon works extremely well. Also, with the offlane Abaddon, you often don't really itemize that much in terms of mana items. Some people go Greaves, but you do see a lot of the Phase Boots Vlad's kind of a build a lot. And the Essence Aura helps to keep you completely topped up pretty much at all times. when you're spamming at your mist coils and your aphotic shields. And the final point, what I was actually getting at, is that aphotic shield is damn good against track, and you can really help to reduce the impact of the bounty hunter in the overall game by just picking up that hero. So we'll see. It is definitely something that's on the cards here for Ehome. In terms of other potential grabs, well, the Faceless Void was good last game, and it's still pretty damn good this game. Very solid against the Invoker. Wings have kind of run into the same problem again with this Void, that they haven't got a whole lot of solid lockdown to deal with him, and they've already grabbed both of their supports and their offlaners, so I don't know what they could be looking at for safe lane to potentially deal with this Void, or if they're just going to have to let him get some farm and be a nuisance here. But okay, so I guess no Abaddon this game. If we do see the Void picked up, Ehome likely to just go with Witch Doctor's pretty good. It's very, very difficult to steal Death Ward if you're doing the right thing, and it is good with the Faceless Void. In terms of other heroes that are pretty good with Void, what have we got? We've got Skywrath Mage, but I don't think that's really necessary. They got a ton of control already, and they've got a silence from the Earth Spirit. So I think something with a bit of sustain would probably do quite well here. But Wings, what is the carry going to be? I mean, it has to be a pretty strong laner. They have to be able to bully the Void. And this is exactly why you see the Clink spanned out by Ehome, because they know the Bounty Hunter wants to roam. Rubik is a pretty weak support in lane in terms of actually zoning out the Void. Can't really do a whole lot of damage, and the duration of telekinesis is not really long enough early on to threaten the Void in terms of getting damage to actually stick against Time Walk. So someone like Clinks could have done pretty well, because he can actually kind of put a lot of damage on the Void early on and kind of zone him out and just lane by himself. But now, what are they going to go for? Could they just pick Drow? I mean, it's not a very good Drow strat, but I mean, you've got the Invoker and you want a silence.
Turn to pick.
I'm not so sure. It is going to be really tough. You're playing a Drow against a Faceless Void and an Earth Spirit, so plenty of different heroes to jump in and burst you. And I think they're still going to have teamfight trouble. They've got the Invoker, but aside from that, the AoE superiority is 100% Ehome's right now. So
10 seconds remaining.
I think this Invoker Bounty Hunter, the Invoker with the Drow Aura, and the Bounty Hunter roaming need to put a ton of pressure on mid lane this game, while successfully avoiding any kind of retaliation from the Earth Spirit as well. And for Ehome, what do they pick? If they really want this Bounty Hunter to just be ultra sad, they could pick like Spirit Breaker if they wanted to, but it kind of fills the same role as Earth Spirit, so not really necessary. If they're actually worried about the right click from the Drow Ranger, then something like Dazzle is alright. It goes pretty well with the OD, but instead they're just going to pick up some synergy for their Faceless Void, as they're going to end up grabbing a support Phoenix here. So I've got the Sunray of Doom along with the Chronosphere, a Chronosphere that's going to be very difficult to do anything about this game, potentially. But even though I'm still skeptical, I feel like Wings do have a better lineup this game than they had in the previous. And hopefully Invoker, if he gets off to a good start, maybe they get some successful bounty ganks, he could potentially start to take over this game. Looks like we are going to be seeing a QE build out of Blink again this game. Doom, nothing too shocking going on there. He's going to be played by Faith Beyond again. We've got Ice on the Rubik. We've got Shadow on the Drow, and we've got Innocence once again roaming. Not on the Mirana this time, he is going to be on the Bounty Hunter. For Ehome, we've got Old 11 on the Faceless Void. We've got Old Chicken on the OD. We've got Fenrir on the Earth Spirit. Ice is going to be on Phoenix. And Lamb is going to be on the Gyrocopter with some boots first. I really like the way that Lamb has been playing his carry positions over the course of this tournament. I've only really watched the games today, but he played a Sven earlier. He had two kind of greedy teammates who are both going for Midas. It was a Lone Druid and an Invoker. So he just picked up a bottle, and he picked up an Aquila, and he picked up some treads, And he ran around the map like a lunatic and just stunned people and applied a ton of pressure and really made a lot of space. And seems to be the same kind of vein that he's going for here with the gyrocopter, with the early boots pick up, ready to zone, ready to harass, ready to create the opportunities for his supports to go and do other things. Especially since they're going to have the Earth Spirit roaming, and ISSI is probably going to set up some stacks or something like that. Do ISSI things and be a nuisance, since that's really his MO. But I've got a bounty rune apiece to start things out here. Got a looks like a quick early D ward from the Dire already, so not a single Radiant ward on the map right now. I think the other one is over in ISIS's hands, who is hoping to block out this big camp, I believe. But struggling to sneak past the Doom, especially with 0 armor, is actually taking a ton of damage right now. And it looks like... Oh, did you block your own camp? Oh, come on, man. Alright, so Doom blocks his own camp. Phoenix is going to end up copying a little bit more harassment, but it looks like he was successful in his endeavors at the end of the day. Meanwhile, I'm going to miss the first blood mid because Fenrir, seeing that the bounty hunter is off elsewhere, is just going to roll on in, and they're just going to right-click him down. I think they even used the Astral to set up for that one. So no questions asked about landing the roll. Just a very straightforward first blood.
Denied.
So Doom is still yet to eat a creep. He wants to go over to this side camp if he can, but he doesn't want to get stuck while he's over there. A little bit more damage being done. Innocent. Gonna realize that there's a sentry ward here on mid. Has already used both of his sentries, it looks like, so gonna have to buy up some more. And, well, there's also a sentry ward waiting down on bottom lane. So it looks like wherever he goes, he's not going to be all that successful. We did see a lot of damage already dealt to Old 11 up on top, so the Drow Ranger is kind of working out as Wings were hoping from that perspective. But Old 11's still going to get up in Ice's face here. And yep, Fenrir going to come in as well, and this looks like a fairly dead Rubik. Good catch, comes in, a little bit of extra damage. Fenrir 2 for 2 so far on these early movements, while Innocence, well, just going to pick up a bounty rune. And that's it. Old Chicken runs into the trees. It's going to get sunstruck. Finished off by the Invoker. Alright. Link getting himself back into the game. Does not have a whole lot of CS, just 3 and 2 right now, but great grab for him. Fenrir once again set up on mid. Odie's back. Invoker's not all that healthy, but is going to back himself up nice and safe. I don't know if they actually scouted the Earth Spirit there. It may have just been in vision. Can they go for this? No, never mind. Because Innocent's going to try and snipe the courier. Is the courier already? Where is the courier? Oh, it's up top. Right. They're just gonna put it in the trees until it's 3 minutes. All right. So Old Chicken is still kind of zoning out Blink on this mid lane, despite the Invoker having the precision aura. They're gonna come in. Sentry's both gonna get eaten up. Nice reactions from Old Chicken there, actually. Making sure to get rid of the Bounty Hunter sentry. What can they do here? Alright, so they see Fenrir, so Invoker just gonna play it nice and safe. Old 11 still has this lane in such a good position top lane. I don't quite know how he's managed to do this, but he's getting a ton of experience as a result. The Doom is kind of up there as well, and does manage to go back to his camp now, which is good. But yeah, this lane control has been a little bit all over the place. I guess it kind of fell apart when the Rubik died. And also it looks like the Fizz's Void may have managed to pull off a side pull here, but what do we got? Innocence, he's running in. Old Chicken a long way up in the lane, feeling confident because he has the Earth Spirit here, but little do they know there's a Doom rotation coming all the way around the back. Old Chicken might actually be in some trouble here, and imprison himself, but I don't think that's going to save his life. Gets hit by the Infernal Blade. There's the imprisonment, but he's just going to get right-clicked down. Alright.
I am ill-disposed.
Took a bunch of heroes, but Wing's gonna even up the score on the board. This Invoker continues to do at least decently mid lane in terms of getting these kills, but he is still a long way behind the OD in terms of overall creep score. 11 needs to be careful. Sunstrike is going to land. And they've got the silence as well from the Drought. Perhaps not anticipating that that pickup was going to be there. I don't think they even needed the Bounty Hunter. He did like all of 10 damage or something. But alright, Innocence now 2 for 2. And getting something going here. Fenrir is trying to find this ward that he thought was... I guess he thought that he was being scouted mid lane because the Invoker was playing so defensively, but it was actually just because the Bounty Hunter was sitting right here and scouting him the whole time. Bounty runs in, a little bit closer, and he's going to be in vision. Probably see some pings come out. No, not even any pings. They're just going to let him run up into the high ground, stun him up, bring him down.
That sharp pain you felt was my intellect.
What else is happening? Lamb has grabbed some... He's just doing it again, isn't he? He's grabbed some phase boots, he's got his level 6, he's got a bottle, and looks like he's just going to run around like a lunatic while Ice just farms up this bottom lane. If the Phoenix picks up a fast Aether Lens this game, that is going to be absolutely terrifying. Old Chicken is going to end up tanking the Sunstrike. He's going to be able to get the Imprison off, does drop it onto the Invoker now, taking a little bit more damage off of this Forge Spirit, but looks like that's going to be it for mid lane at the moment. As Fenrir moves into position once again, Lamb, same as the Sven game, looking to apply some pressure on the mid lane, but he might be scattered out here by the Bounty Hunter. Alright, so they know what's up. What can they actually do? Gyro in some trouble, but Invoker is extremely low on mana right now. I mean, barely has enough for a Cold Snap if he pops the 1 charges, so... Kind of limits what they can do here. All done gonna get dropped, but... Dude... Alright, they're still going to put some pressure on him anyway. SSS needs to be careful with his health. That Sunray is doing quite a bit of damage to him. Innocence wants to get involved here. They got 3 points up in the Scorched Earth. This might be more damage than they were expecting. There's no call down. Lamb just going to get right-click down. Ice was trying to slow things up with the dive, but instead now he has to try and find some path through the trees to not die here. Alright, looks like he is going to be able to get out successfully. Meanwhile, mid lane, another jump onto the Invoker. Looks like they imprisoned up the Rubik to prevent him from getting involved. He was anyway. I think after the Sanity's Eclipse, but not going to find that kill. So Invoker just going to be able to salve on up. Shadow still farming pretty well top. The old 11 also still finding some pretty good levels here. Ice is still down here. I think he's just dead. Dives past the Doom, alright. Sunray into the trees. TP out, he got it. Oh my god, Ice. Alright, he's not dead. There you go. Shows you what I know about Phoenix. Lamb is still rotating, hoping to get this first big call down jump. 8-minute rune might be the spot. Finds an gonna bottle that one up. The roll forward does catch. They kick back the Invoker into the waiting arms of the Gyro. The Cold Snap comes out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to leave the Invoker over to Fenrir and Old Chicken, but that might have been a mistake because Shadow comes running in now. They wanted the greedier kill on the Rubik, but did not expect all of Wings to be there at the ready. And it's going to be a 3-for-1 turnaround. Invoker, he's fine with that. And Wings might even be able to turn this into a little bit of damage on this tier 1 tower mid lane. Phoenix is going to do his best, slow things up, pulls the creep wave off the tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And the Wings still sticking around a little bit. Innocence slipping around, but that was an unfortunate time to pop the Shadow Walk. They could toss Sunstrike him, but the Sunstrike's invoked. Running forward, Sunstrike, toss, easy.
Ka-ching.
I guess Ice was just not thinking about that. So nice grab, that's the Bounty Hunter's level 6 now. Wings actually about a 2k net worth lead and 750 experience. His gyro rotations have not done anything and Lamb is still wandering around. He hasn't gone back to bottom lane to continue farming up, so this is really dangerous for him. The game where he did this on Sven, in fairness, he had 2 big cores kind of backing him up, so even if his rotations weren't all that successful, there were 2 Midases running, and he was still applying pressure, but the same isn't necessarily true this game. Yeah, when he ganked mid, he created some space for the Void to get his level 7 up on top, which is really nice, but I am starting to worry for Lamb's overall farm a little bit here. He is still the number one farm over on the Radiant,
bottom tower is under attack.
There's just been a ton of time spent. Rubik also pretty close to grabbing his level 6 here, so nice grab for him. Doom, nothing too shocking, has just grabbed some drum. I do wonder if we're going to be seeing the blade now. I'm just going to end up settling for a stack over here instead of trying to find any additional
Radiant's
kills.
middle tower is under attack.
We're keen to go for this one, but now Lamb is a little bit low on mana, a little bit low on health. Does have a Rocket Barrage ready, and they are going to be able to catch it. Ice. They get the silence off. Rocket Barrage coming in. They don't want to stick around too long for this, and they are just going to drop the Chrono to get the hell out of here. Invoker's TP not going to do anything, as all four remaining heroes of Wings are going to turn up on top. And actually go for a smoke. I mean, even if they don't get a kill, I think they should be able to get a tower, or at least that's probably what Old Chicken is thinking. Not anticipating this rotation coming over towards the mid lane, perhaps. They try and get over it up to the high ground. Not going to need to, though. They've got the track, they've got the Doom, they've got the Infernal Blade. Can we get a deny? Nope, not even anyone TPing in from Ehome. That was sneaky. I mean, Old Chicken sees everybody turn up top, and he's thinking, oh, they're just going to take tier 1. I'm safe, I can push, I can go do whatever I want. But really smart little rotation from Wings, and it's actually Ehome are going to be bringing everybody in. They do manage to get the slow off over onto the Doom. Nice roll forward from Fenrir. Can he get the body blocks? We'll be able to get in front of him now. It's still pretty tanky. Can he eat a creep before he goes down? Gets the value. Ice throws out the... manages to throw out a little bit of damage, but not really going to do anything in the face of this Phoenix Egg. They've got the call down coming in as well. This is a disaster. Wings, they wrapped around from the tower side, but they're just both going to be brought down. Why did they try and fight that? That's going to be 3 heroes dead. They do end up losing the tower. Invoker picking up the last hit there, but... what a disaster. Innocence? Alright, he's at least got the invis. He's going to be able to get away here. That was just a really bad place to try and fight against the Supernova, and that's going to be a bunch more farm, a few more levels for Ice. He's now got the maxed out Sunray. We still haven't even seen the Chronosphere coordinated with any of this big AoE damage from Ehome just yet, so I think their team fights can still get a lot scarier. Looks like we got... Did Ice just solo kill the Void? He did. He solo killed him with Rocket Barrage. All 675 damage, just the Rubik. Fade Bolt, Barrage, easy kill. 3 points on the Telekinesis, actually a pretty decent disable. Alright, so level 8 on Rubik. Drow has made her way over into the pit. I'll be joining her in a second. Invoker's still not all that farms despite his kills. Does have 3 deaths to his name. He's going to get burned down here. Rocket Barrage kick, a little bit off the mark, but Lamb still manages to grab that, and they're right near the pit, and they're going to drop the call down. Wings are just going to keep on right-clicking the Roshan, knowing that there's no escape for them now. Invoker's already dead. Shadow runs back a little bit further, does manage to get the silence off. The Doom onto Old Chicken as well. They will be able to bring down the Earth Spirit. It looks like Shadow's going to be ticking out to this urn. Big heals coming in from Ice with the Sunray. Doom gets trapped up by the Chronosphere. Not the best positioning, no one really able to auto-attack into that one. They're going to be able to turn around and kill off Innocence. Old 11 continues to chase. No points at Bash. So just going to have to keep chipping away at him here, but the rest of the team is on their way right now. And this is looking like it should be another easy kill. Just going to waste as much time as he possibly can. Was that a 4-for-1? Did the Drow die?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like no. Maybe she did. Nope, looks like Drow just managed to sneak away, despite having that urn charge on it. But Roshan is now 1/3 HP, and it looks like Ehome are gonna come in and force this one out. They don't have all that many cooldowns, but there is at least a call down at the ready. Sanity's Eclipse is actually also off cooldown. No, never mind. I'm telling fibs. They've got they've got Magnetize in 10 seconds. They've got Sanity's Eclipse right now. They don't have Chrono, but that's about it. Calldown's gonna come in. Ice, what can he grab here? Gets the Rocket Barrage again. They've got the Egg as well, working its way in the pit. Slow onto Innocence and onto Shadow. So Shadow also going to be taking a fall here. The other two heroes on the opposite side of the fight, both just left kind of scratching their heads, wondering exactly what they were supposed to do there. And that's going to be 3 kills and the Roshan going Ehome's way. We had about a 2k net worth lead earlier for wings, but that has swung right back in Ehome's direction, about 3k and almost 5k the experience advantage now. And where are those levels? Those levels are everywhere. Void is already level 11. Gyrocopter is already level 11. After all those early rotations, I thought Lamb was about to stagnate, but looks like not the case at all here. Those 2 remaining Wings heroes are going to apply some pressure to the tier 1 bottom and do manage to force some TPs back. But Invoker just TP'd right back into his death. Nice long-range kick from Fenrir. Old 11 still keen to go for this one. Forces the TP cancel. And does actually have a Chronosphere up in 5 seconds time. So it looks like despite only having 3 heroes here, Ehome can probably just continue knocking on the door. What are they going to do? Alright. Is everybody coming in? They've got Doom. Could potentially Doom the Void. I don't think it's worth dooming the Gyrocopter. He's got the Aegis.
Dire's bottom tower is
Some track kills could start to bring this game back a little bit. They know that Innocence is here. He's been spotted out by the Sentry and the Obs combo. But he's not close to anything at the moment.
Is under attack.
So just going to throw out the track and he's going to be alright. But they forced the Glyph. They could potentially deny this tier 2, but Ehome just going to switch over to the tier 1 bottom and just keep on 5-manning with their Aegis, it seems. Shadow's still trying to put together any semblance of farm right now. The Helm of the Dominator was supposed to get him Roche, but unfortunately that got sniffed out pretty quickly. And, well, things are just going from bad to worse. Tier 1 down. What are they setting up for here? Does Drow have a TP? Drow doesn't even have a TP. Shadow is not interested at all in defending this tier 2 tower, which is why the fact I guess the Invoker's also still pushing. But yeah, it just seems really strange that these 2 heroes are standing here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Clearly, neither of these other 2 heroes have no intention whatsoever of getting back right now.
Radiant's middle tower is
And Old
under
11
attack.
could just get a big Chronosphere. Jumps in, Chrono onto 2, not a third at the back. Bring down Ice Ice quickly, and Doom almost as fast. Innocence just has to watch as his teammates get absolutely obliterated, and it's going to be 2 down, a tier 2 tower down. At the very least, Invoker does manage to grab himself a tier 1 on mid, so a little bit of a trade happening there, but I don't think Ehome are going to stand for this. They're coming back. Dry Ranger didn't even grab a TP scroll as she ran past the side shop. It looks like she's just going to end up going down here. Really nice silent in to kick combo from Fenrir. Couple of auto attacks should do it. Old Chicken deftly sidesteps that. I don't know what the imprisonment is about here. 2 auto attacks should do it.
Serrated wings of wisdom cut you down.
That was just... Where are the TP
Radiant's
scrolls?
top tower is under attack.
At least if you're here and you see the TP and you start your TP immediately, there's a chance that you live. But that was just a little bit sloppy from Shadow. At least it looks like he managed to buy up, so it does have his Yasha now, but he's kind of just a buff bot for the Invoker right now, who is still behind the Faceless Void in terms of overall farm. Has the Midas, but no real item progression after that, so we'll have to see what he ends up going into. It might just be a fast Hags. Meanwhile, Void has Vlad's, and he's working on a Diffusal Blade right now. Lamb gonna come running in. Ice Ice. Looks like he's gonna be alright. Okay, so how much longer is this Aegis up for? About another 50 seconds or so. But I'm pretty sure Ehome just grouped, right? Everything is off cooldown. Sure, they're gonna lose the Aegis, but I don't think that's too much of a concern. Innocence, can you get the courier snipe? Should be 1 hit. Nice.
Has been killed.
All right. I think that was the
Tower
headdress
is under attack.
for somebody. I've already got a... Oh god, already a Veil on the Earth Spirit.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So they have Veil
Dire's top
with
tower
Sanity's
is under
Eclipse,
attack.
with Sunray, with Chronosphere, with Call Down, with
Dire's
Rocket
top
Barrage.
tower has fallen.
They don't want to fight this Jarcopter. The Centaur is actually going to oblige and stun up the Invoker, keeping him a little bit closer. And now the Chronosphere comes in onto 3. Do they need all that much more damage? Not really. The Call Down gets dropped late, but they don't even need it. 2 down already. That's the 2 big cores. Doom not even going to turn around to drop his abilities. He's just going to die. Ice will be the next to fall. Magnetize also dropped relatively late, but Ehome have damage to spare. It's like Bounty Hunter might be able to get away, running from the sentries right now. Ticking down to the urn, ticking down to the Phoenix damage. One more auto attack along with the kick will do it. And that is a team wipe in Ehome's favor. They find themselves right at the door of this tier 2 tower with the creep wave conveniently coming in. They may even just consider heading straight up on the side.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Doom still optimistically working towards this
middle
blade
tower
meld.
has fallen.
Invoker has picked up a blink. Alright. Decent to potentially dodge the Chronosphere. Gives him a way in to just drop a meatball deafening blast combo, which is kind of the only damage that they have at the moment. Desperately need some track kills as well, but this mountain of gold and this mountain of experience just continue to get higher and higher for Wings right now. And I think we even had a gem picked up. Yeah, Fenrir just looking to put the nail in the coffin here. Grabs the gem, gonna deny them any semblance of map control whatsoever. Innocence is gonna do his best to go out and try and get some scouting done and plant down some wards, but I believe he's being scouted. Blind roll in from Fenrir, right on the money. Knows what he's doing on this hero. It's just going to be a godlike streak for Lamb. Slow start, but an explosive end. And I mean, what can Wings even do here? They gotta hope that this Invoker can somehow kill like 2 heroes right at the start of the fight, but it seems optimistic. So it was actually that was Ice losing his headdress previously on the courier, but once he's got that back, he's got the entire mech completed. Like, what are they gonna wait? I guess they could just wait for Roshan. There's absolutely no reason not to. Really, they've got total map control. There isn't a single dire ward anywhere right now, so they're all just kind of holed up inside of their base. Invoker, to his credit, is trying to get a little bit of split pushing done. Though this is pretty dangerous for him right now with not a lick of vision of any Radiant heroes. So he's gonna play it safe, leave the creep wave behind.
Time is money.
And it's like potentially just gonna make his way back over to his team. He can't even combo Lamb because he doesn't actually have a stun. He could potentially force the BKB charge. Lamb just gonna come running in here, spots him out, starts the rocket barrage. Slow reactions from the Invoker, does manage to get his Ghost Walk off though. And we'll be able to blink TP away. They know that Lamb is top. Does that give them the opportunity to fight here on mid? I'm not so sure. Nice telekinesis drop, the kick back on the rock. Ice's looking for the stun. They get the Doom, but the imprisonment comes out immediately. They're just going to fight around the sun right now. 11 tanks a little bit more damage off of the Sun Strike. Innocence getting stunned off to the side. Coming in aggressively, but needs to be careful. Gets caught by the rock kick. Old Chicken now silenced, however. Doom's in some trouble. Ice's running back. The call down comes in. One more auto attack finishes the Doom. Rubik will be next to fall. Old 11 continues to chase into the base. Lamb's not done. He's actually got a blink dagger of his own right now. That is just going to be the GG called. It was 19 minutes for the first one. It's a little bit slower here at 23 for the second game, but that is going to be Ehome cleaning up this series 2-0. And that's going to be Ehome walking away with a 5-0 sweep of Group D. So, totally uncontested, going to make their way into the playoffs, and we're going to see what they can do over the course of the days to come. That about wraps it up for me, guys. There is still some more Dota to be played here, though it's not going to be for another, hour and 50 minutes or so. Ehome just kind of cleaned these games up a bit too quickly. But for those of you wondering what is going to be on over here, that is going to be VG.R versus Tongfu, which is from Group A. And I don't think Looks like there isn't a match going on over on BTS2 at the moment, so I don't have anywhere to send you. It is going to be Cyclops casting later on, so if you're keen for that, make sure you tune back in. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Basskip. If you want to leave any feedback, you can email me at basskipdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can just drop a message in chat before you guys head out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you guys for more H-Cup over the course of the next couple of days.